Today we discuss on a topic simple interest. Now we see the examples. A person invested a total sum of 7,900 in three different schemes of simple interest at 3%, 5% and 8% per annum. At the end of 1 year, he got same interest in all three schemes. At the end of year, he got same interest in all three schemes. What is the money invested at 3%? What is the money invested at 3%? Now here, a person invested total sum 7,900 in three different schemes at a 3%, at a 5% and at a 8% per annum. At the end of 1 year, he got same interest in all three of schemes. Then what is the money invested at 3%? Here there are three sums are different and with different rates. Then sums are or principles are X, Y or Z. Then their interest rate of interest are 3%, 5% and 8%. 3% and 5% and 8%. And their duration or time is 1 year, 1 year, 1 year. Now here, at the end of 1 year, he got same interest rate. Then interest rate coming on that sum is equal to interest rate comes on that sum is equal to interest rate come on that sum. Now here we write X into 3 into 1 year divided by 100. This is the interest come on amount sum X. Then this is interest come on sum of Y into 5 into 1 divided by 100 is equal to Z into your 8 into 1 divided by 100. Then 100 get cancelled. Then remain is 3x is equal to 5y is equal to 8z. Here z 8z. Now here we find the ratio of sum. Then x upon y, that is x upon y is equal to 5:3. Here y come here, 3 goes there. Then 5 divided by 3 is x upon y. Then y upon z is equal to 8 upon 5. Y upon z is equal to 8 upon 5. We find x as to y as to z. Now we find x as to y as to z. Then here x upon y is equal to 5 upon x upon y is equal to 5 upon 3. Y upon z is equal to 8 as to 5. Then we find x as to y. These are the sum x, y, z. Then we find the ratio of x, y, z. X as to y is 5 as to 3. Y as to z is 8 as to 5. Now here 3 here continue here, 8 continue here. Now here we write 40, 24 and 15. This is the ratio of sums invested in that rates. Now here total sum is equal to 7,900. Your total sum is 7,900. Then we find the what is the money invested at 3%. Then we find the value of x. Then total sum is 7,900 divided by total proportion. We add this. Then total proportion is 7, 9. into your x ratio, x is 40 into 40, then 9, 40 into 100 is 4000. Then sum invested at 3% rate is 4000. Sum invested at 3% rate is 4000. Sum invested at 3% rate is 4000. Now next, a person invested a total sum of 6200 in three different schemes of simple interest, in a three different scheme of simple interest at 2%, 3% and 5% per annum, at 2%, 3% and 5% per annum. At the end of year, he got same interest. At the end of 1 year, he got same interest in all three schemes. He got same interest in all three schemes. Then what is the money invested at 2%? What is the money invested at 2%? Now here there are three different sums. Here sums are, or principles are x, y and z. There are three sums. There are three principal sums. That is, three principal are x, y, z. Then they are invested at a rate, interest rate, invested at interest rate 2%, 3%, 2%, 3% and 5%. 2%, 3% and 5%. Then time duration, your time duration, that is time, is 1 year. Your time is 1 year. Here 1 year, 1 year and 1 year. Now here after 1 year the interest rate is same. After 1 year is interest rate is same. Then we write here interest rate come on sum x is equal to interest rate come on sum y come on sum z. Now here we write x into 2 into 1 year divided by 100. This interest rate is equal to interest rate on sum y at a 3% for 1 year, at a 3% for 1 year divided by 100 on z is equal to into 5, z into 5 into 1 divided by 100. Here 100 get cancel. Now here remaining 2x is equal to 3y is equal to 5z. 2x is equal to 3y is equal to 5z. Now we find the ratio of x as to y. We find the ratio as x as to y is 3 as to 2. X as to y is 3 as to 2. Y as to z. Y as to z is equal to 5 as to 3. Y as to z is equal to 5 as to 3. Now here we find x as to y as to z. 3 as to 2, 5 as to 3. Now here x as to y is 3 as to 2 and y as to z is equal to 5 as to 3. Now here we find the x as to y as to z. We find the x as to y as to z. X as to y is 3 as to 2. Y as to z is 5 as to 3. Now here 2 is continue, 5 is continue. Now here x is equal to 15, y is equal to 10 and z is equal to 6. Z is equal to 6. This is the ratio of principals or ratio of sum. Now here total sum invested is 6,200. Total sum invested is is equal to 6,200. Total sum is 6,200. Now here we find the what is the money invested at 2%. What is the money invested at 2%? Then we find the value of x. We find the value of x. Then 6,200 divided by addition of these three, 31, and we will find the value of x. We find the value of x. Value of x is equal to 15. Now here 200 into 15, 200 into 15, that is 3000. Then sum invested at 2% is 3000. Sum invested at 2% is 3000. Then here we find the ratio of sums. Then we get this calculation, and your answer is 3000. Then sum invested at 2% is 3000. Now next, at a rate of simple interest, an amount of 2100 becomes 2352 in 2 years. In 2 years, if the interest rate is decreased by 1%, if the interest rate is decreased by 1%, what is the new interest in 2 years? New interest in 2 years. Now here firstly find first interest. Now here your amount minus principal or sum. Amount minus sum is equal to interest. Your amount is 2352. Your sum is 2100. Then your interest is subtraction of these two. The subtraction of these two is 252. Now your interest rate is firstly interest rate is 252. If your interest rate is decreased by 1%, interest rate is decreased by 1%. Now we find the new interest. We find the new interest. Then your sum is 2100. Then interest rate is decreased by 1. That is, we find the value of 1% for 2 years. For 2 years divided by 100. Now here 0 get cancelled. 21 to the 42. Then your interest is 42. Your 1% interest rate on 2100 at 1% for 2 years is 42. We subtract this from this, we get answer. Then firstly interest rate is 252 minus 42. Then value is 210. Now here new interest rate is 210. Your new interest rate is 210. Now next, at the rate of simple interest, an amount of 30,000 becomes 36,300 in 3 years. 36,300 in 3 years. If the interest rate is decreased by 3%, if the interest rate is decreased by 3%, what is the new interest in 3 years? What is the new interest? What is the new interest in 3 years? What is the new interest in 3 years? Firstly, we find simple interest. Here amount minus sum is equal to your interest. Your amount is 36,300. Your amount is 36,300 minus your sum is 3,000. Now your 30,000. Your sum is 30,000. Now here your interest is 6,300. Your interest is 6,300. Then your firstly interest is 6,300. If your interest is decreased by 3%. Now here we find sum. Your sum is 3,000. Then your interest is decreased by 3%. Then we find the value of interest on 3,000 at a 3% for a 3 year. For a 3 years divided by 100. Now here your interest is 2,700. Now here what is the new interest in 3 years? Here interest rate is decreased by 3%. Now we find the value of interest of sum of 30,000 at a 3% interest rate for 3 years. Now here we subtract this value from this. Your new interest is come. Now here we get subtraction 0 0. Here 13 minus 7 is 6. Then here 5 3. Now your answer is 3,600. Now your answer is 3,600. Now next. Now see example. Mr. Gupta took a loan from the bank at 8% per annum simple interest and was supposed to pay a sum of rupees 2,240 at the end of 4 years. If the same sum is cleared off in 4 equal annual installments. If the same sum is cleared off in 4 equal annual installments at the same rate, the amount of the annual installment will be. Now here total amount paid in 4 years is 2,240. This is your amount. Now here your installment is X. Your installment is X. Now here we write here a formula. Your first installment is X plus into in a bracket X plus X for 1 year at 8% divided by 100 plus X plus for 2 year at 8% and for a 3 year X into 3 into 8 divided by 100. Now we solve this equation, we get the value of installment. Then 2,240 is equal to X plus here total X plus X plus X plus X. Total are 4X. Here we write 4X. Plus here write 8X divided by 100 plus 16X divided by 100 plus 24X divided by 100. Now here we solve this equation, we get the answer. Now here 2,240 is equal to 4X plus 8X 16X and 20X. 8X divided by 100 plus 16X divided by 100 plus 24X divided by 100. Now here we get is equal to 400X plus 8X plus 16X plus 24X divided by 100. Now here we write 2,240 is equal to 488 X is equal to 100. Now here we get equation 2240 into 100 divided by 448 is equal to X. Then here 2241 2 182 2 5 are. Here remain 5 into 100. 5 into 100. There your answer is, your installment is 500. Now here your value of x, that is your installment. Your installment is 500 rupees. Your installment is 500 rupees. Now next. What equal installment of annual payment will be discharged a debit which is due as 848 at the end of 4 years at 4% per annum simple interest. Here now here total amount paid is, your amount is 848. Now here this we have 4 installment. Now your value of installment, your installment is x. Your installment is x. Now you write here 848 is equal to your first installment is x plus, now x plus interest for 1 year at 4%, plus interest for 2 years at 4%, plus interest for 3 years at 4%. Now here we calculate the value of x. Then 848 is equal to x plus x plus x plus x. Total are 4x. 4x plus, here we write 4x divided by 100 plus 8x divided by 100 plus 12x divided by 100. 12x divided by 100. Now here we write 848 is equal to 4x. इथे छेद समान केले, लक्षात ठेवा. 400x plus 4x plus 8x plus 12x divided by 100. Now here we solve this equation. 4 plus 424. Now here we solve this equation. Now we find value of x. Then 848 into 100 divided by 424 is equal to x. Then here your value of installment is 200. Your value of installment is 200. Now your value of installment is 200. This is the value of installment. Now next. A man repay a loan of rupees 3,250 by paying 20 in first month and then increases the payment by 15 every month. How many months will it take him to clear the loan? How many months will it take him to clear the loan? Here total your amount is or payable amount is 3,250. Now here your first installment is 20 or first payment is 20. Now here after first month the payment will be increased by 15 every month. Then next month payment is 35. Then next month payment is 50. Now how many months will it take him to clear the loan? How many months will take him to clear the loan? Now here we write formula of SN. We write formula of SN. N upon 2 into twice A plus N minus 1 D. Now here your value of we find the value of N. SN means 3,250. SN means value of SN is 3,250. N by 2 into twice A. A means your first installment. A means first plus N minus 1 as it is, and your T means difference between these two installment is 15. Now we solve this. Now here we can write 2 into 3,250 is equal to 40N plus N minus 1 into 15. We divided by 5 on all these terms. Then we remains here 60, 80 and 3. Now here we write here 1,300 is equal to 8N plus remaining N into N multiples on a bracket, in a bracket. Now here remains 3 into N square minus 3N. Now here we write here 1300 is equal to 5N plus 3N square. Now here we solving this, we get answer. We solving this, we get answer. Now here we write N square plus 3N square plus 5N plus 3N square plus 5N minus 1300 is equal to 0. Now here we solve here. Now here 3 into 13 we find factor, then 3 into 13 into 100, 15 into 2. $60. 65 into 60. Then their subtraction is here plus 65 and minus 60. Their multiplication is minus here 3900 and their summation is plus 5. Now here write is equal to 0. Now here get common n, remain is 3n plus 65. Here get common 60 or 20. Remain is 3n plus 65. These are now here is same. Then 3n plus 65 into n minus 20 is equal to 0. Then n minus 20 is equal to 0. Then your value of n is equal to 20. Then total installments are 20. Then total installments are 20. Your total installments are 20. Now next. The difference between simple interest on certain sum at a 6% per annum for 5 years and 5% per annum for 4 years is 422. Find the amount. The difference between the simple interest on certain sum, where your sum is 5, then interest rate is 6 for 5 years. 5 years. This is the interest. And second condition is principal is same or your sum is same. Your interest rate is 5% for 4 years. Then difference between these two interests is 422. Difference between these two interests is 422. Now here we write 30p upon 100 minus 20p upon 100 is equal to 4 to 2. Now here we solving this. 30 minus 20 is 10p upon 100 is equal to 4 to 2. 0 0 get cancelled. Then value of principal is equal to 4 to 2 0. Then value of p is 4 to 2 0. Your value of principal is 4220. Now next. The difference between the simple interest on a certain sum of money for 8 years and 9 years at annual rate of 11% is 132. How much is that amount or sum? Here we find the value of sum. Here difference between the simple interest on certain sum on money for 8 years. Your principal is P for 8 years and for 9 years. Here for 9 years minus at 11%. Your P is same. Your principal is same. Your years 8 years and 9 years and 8 years. Your value of interest rate is same. Your interest rate is 11. Then the difference between these two interests, these two interests is 132. Now here we solve this equation. Then 99p divided by 100. 99p here we write 99p divided by 100 minus 88p divided by 100 is equal to 132. Now their subtraction between these two is 11p. 11p is equal to 132 into 100. Here p is equal to 132 divided by 11 into 100. Now P is equal to your principal is equal to 1200. Your principal is 1200. Now this is your answer. 1200. Now this is your answer.